No one could handle the millionaire's twin daughters, not a single nanny, no matter how qualified, until a tired single mom with a janitor's uniform walked in and did the impossible. It was late afternoon in Manhattan. Golden light spilled through the glass walls of a luxury tower as people packed up for the day. Lucas Emery, 30, sharp suit, cold expression, and eyes that never showed weakness, stepped out of the elevator. A CEO who ran companies like clockwork, yet couldn't manage his own home. He was almost out the door when a frustrated shout stopped him near the daycare room. "I quit. I can't do this anymore." Through the glass, he saw his 3-year-old twins, Ruby and Scarlet, sitting on the floor, backs against each other, clutching their worn teddy bears. Another nanny stormed out, the 10th in just 2 months. Lucas didn't stop her. He just watched the girls sit quietly, as if used to being left behind. Then, down the hall, came the sound of a rolling janitor's cart. Emma West, 28, exhausted, gentle, and unseen, paused when she noticed the girls. Without a word, she set her trash bag aside, knelt beside them, and simply placed a hand on one small shoulder. No coaxing, no lecture, just presence. And something changed. From the doorway, Lucas froze. His daughters leaned into Emma's arms and, for the first time in years, fell asleep without tears. Not for the nannies, not for him, but for this woman the world barely noticed. That quiet moment planted something in him, a feeling he hadn't let himself feel in years. Hope. The next morning, while scrubbing floors, Emma was summoned to Lucas's top-floor office. She assumed she was in trouble. Instead, Lucas made her an offer that left her speechless: help with his daughters, temporarily, and he'd pay her 5 times her salary. When Emma refused because of her 5-year-old daughter Lily, Lucas simply said, "Then she stays here too." And just like that, a janitor's world collided with a billionaire's. When Emma and Lily moved into Lucas's penthouse, the place changed immediately. No marble, no money could buy what she brought: warmth. The twins resisted at first, confused by her simplicity, until they spent one night at Emma's tiny apartment. No chandeliers, no iPads, just a small mattress and one shared blanket. But it was there, in that cramped little room, that Ruby whispered, "It's small here, but it feels like a real home." From that day, everything shifted. Emma didn't teach with rules. She taught with patience. She showed them how to knead dough, fold clothes, and water plants. No rewards, just eye contact, gentle words, and love that didn't need to be earned. One afternoon, while teaching Ruby to tie her shoes, Scarlet whispered that she couldn't remember her mother's face anymore. Emma held her close and said softly, "Someone who loves you never really leaves. Even if you forget their face, the love stays right here." From the hallway, Lucas watched, speechless. For the first time, he saw what his daughters had truly needed: not perfection, connection. But love has a way of being tested. One night, Lily had a severe asthma attack. Panic filled the penthouse. Without hesitation, Lucas drove them himself through red lights to the hospital. Hours later, when the doctor said Lily was safe, Emma broke down in tears. Lucas quietly draped his jacket over her shoulders and sat beside her in silence. In that still moment, they were no longer CEO and janitor, just two parents who had faced fear together. Then came Victoria Hawthorne, Lucas's wealthy, ruthless sister. Elegant, cold, threatening custody. "You're letting a janitor raise your children," she said. Lucas hesitated, torn between legacy and heart. Emma understood before he spoke. She packed her bag without argument. When Ruby and Scarlet realized she was leaving, they clung to her, crying, "You're our real mom." Emma smiled through tears and whispered, "My brave princesses, you'll always be in my heart." Then she walked away, and Lucas let her. Until the day his phone rang. "Your daughters are sitting outside apartment 2B, said a stranger. "They're crying for someone named Emma." Lucas drove faster than he ever had. When he arrived, his girls were huddled against Emma, tear-streaked but safe. Ruby held a half-torn teddy bear, the other half in Lily's arms, stitched together like their lives now were. And when Lucas saw their drawing, 5 stick figures labeled, Mom, Dad, Lily, Ruby, Scarlet, he finally understood what home meant. "We're going home," he said softly. "All of us." Emma hesitated, eyes glistening. Lily took her hand and whispered, "Let's go home, Mommy." And so they did. Lucas stood at her door the next morning, no suit, no pride, just truth. "I was wrong," he said. "I don't want perfect anymore. I want what's real. You and Lily, you're real." Victoria withdrew her lawsuit soon after. Money and power couldn't compete with love that pure. Months later, the penthouse was unrecognizable, loud, messy, alive. Pancakes burned on the grill, kids chased each other around the garden, and laughter echoed through marble walls that finally felt like home. At Ruby and Scarlett's 4th birthday, the twins handed Emma a homemade gift, a colorful frame with a crayon drawing labeled Mom, Dad, Lily, Ruby, Scarlett. And below it, not perfect, but real. Our family. Emma's eyes filled. Lucas stood behind her, silent, smiling, no more walls, no more distance. Because sometimes, the ones the world overlooks are the ones who mend it. A janitor taught a millionaire's family how to love again. Not through grand gestures, but through quiet moments that stitched 5 hearts into one. If this story touched you, tap the heart, hit subscribe, and remember, real love doesn't need perfection. It just needs presence.